books of all time. Do you agree? And this list was actually compiled by, quote, you, the people, or the people who vote on Goodreads. So let's go through this list, the top 10 greatest books of all time, according to, I guess, popular culture, and let's see if you agree. And don't forget to comment below during this video to let me know what you think about these popular picks. Let's start with number 10, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Now, this is actually not a book that I've ever read because it deals with, I don't know, themes that I don't typically like to dwell on when I'm reading. It deals with a dying girl, a girl who's dying of cancer, and then she finds, you know, a love interest. That's really all I know about the book. I know it became a movie. I know it is just a beloved book, but it's just kind of a little bit too, I don't know, dark for me. But let me know in the comments down below if you actually agree that this is a book that I should read, and is it one of the top 10 books of all time? Probably not, but I guess if we're going, I guess this list is more dealing with, I guess, pop culture, right? We're not dealing with things that we know are great works of art. We know they're going to stand the test of time. We're dealing with popularity, right? This is a popularity contest. Although now that I just said that, number 9 is kind of proving me wrong because number 9 is the Chronicles of Narnia. So here we have my set of the Chronicles of Narnia because, you know, I've got kids. How could I not have the Chronicles of Narnia? And this is obviously a classic. This obviously has, you know, stood the test of time. I agree that this is actually one of the greatest books ever written. Is it number 9? Probably not, but it's a great book. It's a great series of books. And I'm actually going to read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe with my son this summer. You know, he reads it out loud to me. He's 8 years old. I don't know how much he gets it, but it, you know, it's good practice for him. And again, proving me wrong about the classics on this list, but it is a classic as well as incredibly popular, and that is The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit together. This is number 8 on this list of the greatest books of all time. Now, I am someone who doesn't like fantasy, but saying that, I love The Lord of the Rings and I love The Hobbit. The Lord of the Rings I have read several times, and it's actually, the first time I read it, I actually didn't read it. My father read it to me, and it's one of my most cherished memories, actually, is when my father read me this book when I was a young girl, probably, I don't know, 8 years old, he read it to me. And I still remember, you know, when he read the part when Frodo goes to the Grey Havens and just, you know, crying myself to sleep. That's one of my strongest memories ever. And then, of course, I've read this book, you know, myself as an adult many times. I was actually thinking that I probably should reread it again sometime quite soon. But yes, I agree. This is one of the greatest books ever written. Number 7 on this list, according to popular culture, according to Goodreads, is Animal Farm by George Orwell. I do agree that this is one of the greatest books ever written. It is a great work of satire. You know, it's a adult fairy tale. It's about a bunch of animals, overworked farm animals who, you know, rise up against the man, and they start out with all these ideals about, you know, how their new life's gonna be, and then it just slips into totalitarianism, as if we have not noticed this in our own lives. Number 6, now this one, I don't know, Twilight by Stephanie Meyer.
Wait. Now that I'm editing this, how does this list go from Animal Farm, a true classic, to Twilight?
I actually have never read this book. I have no interest in reading this book. I just don't care. I mean, I remember when the whole Twilight saga was just, you know, the thing, all the movies, all the stuff. I just don't care. So yeah, I have no way of knowing whether this book is good or not. Number 5 on this list is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. Now, I know this is a beloved book, but actually, I would disagree with this. I actually really did not like this book. I recently read it, actually. And the reason I didn't like it is because I felt like it was a book that had no hope. So it is a World War II book. It is about a girl, a German girl, and her adopted parents, because both of her parents have been killed because they were communists. So with her adopted German parents, it's their life, you know, outside of Berlin, and they hide a Jewish man. But really, the ending of the book is just so horrific. I feel like the message is just that, you know, humanity is horrible. Human beings are just so awful to one another. You know, everything sucks. And then, I don't know, maybe that's true. But if I'm going to be reading, I don't want to be reading about that. I mean, if I want to sort of underline or underscore to myself that human beings suck, I'll watch the news. But if I'm going to be reading, I want it to be an escape. So that's why I didn't like The Book Thief. Number 4 on this list is To Kill a Mockingbird, and I would agree, this is a great book, a very influential book, very well-written book, very important book. So yeah, this one, I do agree. It's one of the best books ever written. Number 3, Pride and Prejudice. Now, this is all of Jane Austen's books, so Pride and Prejudice is in here somewhere. You got the story of Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. Yes, it is one of the great stories ever written in English literature. I would agree. Number 2 on this list, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I don't know why it's just one book, whereas, you've got the whole Narnia series, and then you've got, the 3 Lord of the Rings books and The Hobbit considered as one. I actually only recently read Harry Potter. I read it along with my daughter. She loved it. I loved it too. I mean, I guess now I get it. I get it why everyone loves Harry Potter. It was a great book, great series, bittersweet ending. It was just, it was great. I don't think it was better than Lord of the Rings, me personally, but I do get it. I get the hype. Now, number 1 on this book, and this is kind of weird. I mean, I did love the book, The Hunger Games. This is actually the 3rd one, Mockingjay, and the list is saying number 1, The Hunger Games, so number 1 of 3 of this book. I mean, do I think that this is the greatest book ever written? No, I don't. Do I love this book? Yes. Have I read this book many times over? Yes. Was it one of my most fun reading experiences ever? Yes. So if you're just going by pure enjoyment, then yeah, I agree that Hunger Games is, one of the greatest books ever written in terms of pure enjoyment. Is this going to stand the test of time? I don't know. I guess we'll see, right? I guess 100 years from now, although I don't know how I'll ever know this, will this still be on a list like this? Will it be considered like the Chronicles of Narnia? Time will tell.